Bohemian Rhapsody. Today I'm going to be using a piece of scrapbooking paper to wrap a small gift. I like the design, I like the color, but it is a scrapbooking paper, and you can see along the edge on this side there's some numbers, over here there's some print, and I really don't want that to show up in my gift. This paper is actually a little bit small for the present that I want to wrap. I'm just going to begin by making a very narrow fold. Sometimes when I do folding, I try to be more precise, but in this particular instance, I'm just going to eyeball it. I start with a very small fold, it's quite narrow. And then what I'm gonna do is, as I continue to fold, I'm actually gonna kind of double up the size. And again, I'm just eyeballing it, but I wanna kind of be thinking, like if you can see that, of kind of doubling the size. So I'm gonna double that. And again, I can actually kind of use these circles to help me line it up fairly evenly. And then I'm just going to continue, and now I'm going to be using that initial line as my fold, and I'm just going to continue to fold along the length of this piece of paper. Now in this particular case, I'm going to be hiding the print. If I wanted the print to be part of the design element, then I would be doing it in reverse. I would actually have the white side. This is actually the back of the paper, but in this case I'm going to be using the white. I want the white to be showing, and so I'm actually using this as the print is actually becoming the back in this instance. So what I'm going to do is unravel that. You can just see all those folds there. Then I'm going to flip this over. I still have my initial little fold here, but the other ones I've unraveled. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pinch along the fold, and I'm going to create, if you just kind of think pleats, I'm just going to fold it back towards that initial little fold. And then again, I take the next one, I give it a little pinch, and I'm going to fold it back, and I'm trying my best to keep it fairly even. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I continue to move along the paper, just creating pleats as I go. And these pleats are going to become part of the final design element, the final look in this particular gift. So once I have the pleats created all the way along, what I'm going to do is flip this over. And again, I'm just kind of smoothing this out the best that I can. And I'm just going to take some tape, and I'm just going to basically tape it down. Again, I'm just going to move a little bit further along. The pleated part is going to become part of the design of the finished project. What you could do is take your paper cutter. So I have my paper cutter here. I could line this up. I just want to make sure that I miss the pleats at the back. In fact, you could turn it this way just to make sure that you're missing. And what I would want to do is I would want to cut right along here, just leaving a little bit of extra space there. In this particular case, I think I'm going to actually go for the torn look. I love the look of torn paper, so I'm just going to use my finger as a guide underneath. So there you have it. I have my pleats, and then I decided just to go with kind of a rough edge along there. So what I'm going to do is bring my gift back. And again, this won't quite fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, and I want to slide my piece of paper into that fold. So what I'm going to do is take that, and I'm just going to tape it along there. So again, I'm just sliding it. You can see there I'm just sliding it inside there, so it's like a little pocket for it. So I'm putting it fairly snug, and that way it'll just help to make sure that it's fairly straight. And this is again going to be the back, so it doesn't matter if you can see the tape or not. And now I have that attached. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my gift, and I'm just going to wrap it like a regular gift. So when you're doing something like this, you might have to play with it a bit to get it lined up. For the finishing, I don't want to have tape on here, so I'm actually just going to use my double-sided tape along this edge. Now, I actually don't have a problem with my tape showing, especially because it's a little bit thicker. All right, so there we have the pleats. So what I'm going to do is, just using paper, I'm going to create a little flower. And so I've already cut some strips. I know the size that I want. And what I tried to do was just get some different shades of pink from my scrap paper collection. I have a lot of scrapbooking paper and I keep little odds and ends. And so I was just trying to kind of find some papers that I thought would coordinate well with the base paper. I'm going to use my paper cutter, and I kind of know on my cutter where I need to line up to get the same size. And so all I'm going to do is create a few more strips. I'm just going to take all of these and I'm going to stack them. And what I want to do is I want to be able to find where the middle is, and the best way to do that is really just to do a fold. So I'm just going to take one of the strips, make just a very little fold in the middle, and that way it'll just kind of line up to show me where the middle of my stack is. And I have this hole punch. I love it. It actually has two different sizes. It has a smaller and a bigger hole, and it goes through quite a stack of papers, and it's one of my handiest tools. I actually have one at home and I have one at school as well. So I'm just looking for that fold and the center of my little strip, and I'm gonna punch all the way through. So you can see I've created this little wee hole through. I have several circle punches, and what it allows me to do is cut different sizes of them. But what you can do is you can actually stack the circles and make concentric circles, and it makes for a really nice little focal point or center on a flower, or even just a circle in itself can make a nice focal point on a gift. So what I wanted to demonstrate for you is just what I did when I went about putting these together to make the little flower that I made. So in this case, what I did was, I actually have one here that I've already punched. So I lined everything up, and I chose to do a bigger white circle and then a smaller kind of a dark pink circle. And then I just have a little brad. Of course, a brad opens up at the back, and it's a velvet colored pink one, so I thought it went quite nicely. It's okay if the pinks are off a little bit. You want to be careful that you're not doing anything too crazy in terms of it not, the color not matching. And the order that you have them stacked is quite irrelevant as well, because you can just maneuver them to change them. And so this is simply made just by taking those strips of paper, putting a hole in the middle, and then bradding them together, and it creates quite a nice look. So if we bring our gift back in, I have this really cool lattice or a lace type of a ribbon, and what I thought is it would look nice just to put it across the gift. The middle of this flower is going to cover any join that I have here quite nicely, so I'm just going to do my join at the top, and again I want to kind of line it up to get it in the center. I'm just going to use a piece of tape to secure it, have it centered nicely. Need to make sure that I catch both sides, and just really want to push that down firmly to make sure it's going to stay, and then my flower can just go in the center. So for this, I'm just going to use my double-sided tape. Actually move that a little bit. So I love the way this has come together as a gift. I love the fact that it really is mostly created just with paper. Again, I used scrapbooking paper for the base. We ended up creating this beautiful pleated look by folding the edges of the paper. And then just using paper strips, we were able to create this really cool looking flower in the middle to finish it off. For most of this gift, it's just made of paper, with the exception of the little brad and the little bit of ribbon I added to go crosswise. So I hope you like this idea. And again, this would be great on any gift. You could do it in a Christmas theme, you could do it for a birthday, or just a thinking of you gift. And so I hope you like this idea. Thank you for visiting Bohemian Rhapsody, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.